When you think about hospitality, what do you figure is the most valuable asset? You might think it's the beautiful building or maybe the five-star amenities, but it's actually something way more powerful. So in this session, we're going to dive deep into the real currency of our industry.
Trust.
Hello, and a very warm welcome. I'm an AI expert specializing in modern hotel operations and performance, and it's a real pleasure to welcome all of you from the Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. Now, it doesn't matter if you're aiming to manage a global hotel chain or you're starting out at the front desk, understanding trust is absolutely non-negotiable. So we're here to break down exactly how it's built, why it matters so much, and most importantly, how you can master it.
Okay, so let's get right to the core of it. Think of it this way. Trust isn't just some nice-to-have bonus. No, it's the absolute bedrock, the foundation of every single guest relationship. If you don't have it, you can forget about loyalty. The whole experience from the moment they walk in to the moment they leave is just, well, it's built on shaky ground.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the three core pillars: reliability, honesty, and integrity. After that, we'll talk about how to make that structure even stronger. And finally, we'll get into the good stuff, the real-world return on investment you get when you master the art of trust. Let's get started.
All right, let's jump right into our first pillar, the promise of reliability. You see, trust doesn't begin with some huge, grand gesture. It actually starts with something much simpler, a promise you make every single day, being reliable.
So what are we really talking about when we say reliability in hospitality? Well, it's pretty simple. It's the quality of consistently, and I mean consistently, doing what you say you're going to do. It's all about those small, everyday actions that over time build up into this rock-solid reputation for being someone people can count on.
And here's exactly how that works in the real world. Think about it. Responding to a guest's message right away. Making sure that room service order is exactly as they requested. Keeping that same high standard of cleanliness every single day, no exceptions. I know, these things might seem small on their own, but when you do them over and over again, that's how you build an ironclad reputation for being dependable.
And here's the really cool part, the psychology behind it. Every single time you honor a commitment, even a tiny one, you're doing something huge. You're actually reducing the guest's uncertainty. You're taking away their doubt, bit by bit, and replacing it with pure confidence. Confidence in you, and confidence in your entire hotel. Okay, moving on to our second pillar, which builds right on top of reliability, we're talking about the principle of honesty. In our industry, expectations are sky high, right? But real strength isn't about just saying yes to everything. It's about being transparent and, well, just plain honest.
So let's just compare the two approaches side by side. On the one hand, you can make an unrealistic promise. Sure, it might get the guest's attention for a minute, but what happens next? Disappointment. And that just eats away at trust. But on the other hand, an honest explanation. Even if you're explaining a limitation, it stops misunderstandings before they start, it sets realistic expectations, and you know what? It builds real long-term satisfaction.
And this is so crucial because guests appreciate this transparency everywhere. We're talking clear pricing, realistic timelines for their requests, and being upfront about what a service includes. When you have that kind of clarity, you build confidence. And you get rid of all that friction that just leads to frustration down the line.
All right, this brings us to our third pillar, and honestly, it's the most profound one of all, the standard of integrity. This one goes deeper. It's not just about what we do or what we say, it's about the very core of who we are as professionals. It's about our ethical compass.
So what is integrity? It means choosing to act with fairness, respect, and responsibility in every single interaction, no exceptions. It's about making a conscious choice to value your principles just as much as you value results. And it means always putting the long-term relationship ahead of any quick short-term win. And in our industry, this has huge implications. Think about it. We are trusted with incredibly sensitive guest information, their personal preferences, their financial details, you name it. Protecting that data isn't just a line in a policy manual, it is a fundamental act of integrity. It means resisting the temptation to take any shortcut that might put that trust at risk. And let me be perfectly clear, the stakes here could not be higher. You can spend months, even years, building trust through reliability and honesty, but it takes just one single breach of integrity to shatter it all, and often that damage is permanent. This is the one pillar that you can simply never, ever allow to crack. Okay, so we've built our three pillars. We have our foundation, but how do we keep it strong?
How do we maintain it over time? This next part is all about reinforcing that structure through consistency and, just as importantly, knowing how to fix things when they go wrong. Think of consistency as the glue that holds all of this together. When your communication, your quality, and your attitude are always on point, it sends a powerful message of professionalism. And for the guest, that creates a huge sense of security. They know what to expect from you. They can finally just relax. But let's be real. We work with people, for people. Mistakes are gonna happen. It's inevitable. So the true test of a strong relationship isn't that you never make a mistake. The real question is, what do you do when one happens? And this right here, this is the playbook for turning a potential disaster into a moment that actually builds trust. It's a 4-step process. 1, acknowledge the problem and do it fast. 2, apologize, and it has to be sincere. Show that you respect their experience. 3, explain what happened, be open about it. And 4, correct it, fix the problem, and then show them what you're doing to make sure it never happens again. That, right there, is world-class service recovery. So, let's bring it all home and talk about the payoff. After all this work, what's the result? Because trust isn't just some vague, fuzzy feeling. It is a tangible asset with a very real and very powerful return on investment.
I mean, the long-term benefits are just massive. First off, trust creates intense guest loyalty. They'll come back again and again. It also leads to open collaboration. Guests feel safe enough to tell you what they really need. And maybe the most valuable of all, it generates the best marketing on the planet. Powerful word-of-mouth referrals.
And this is really the ultimate goal, isn't it? The relationship completely transforms. It stops being just a transaction, someone paying for a service, and it becomes a real, genuine partnership, one that's built on mutual respect and solid confidence. So the key takeaway here is patience. Building this kind of trust doesn't happen overnight. It's not a switch you can just flip. It's the result of countless small, consistent actions that prove, day in and day out, that you are reliable, honest, and operate with integrity. So I want to leave you with a challenge, a question for you to take away from this session. After everything we've discussed today, what is the very first step, that one concrete action that you are going to take to start building your own